Does it feel like you keep ending up in the same kind of relationships? Are you tired of the fact that you seem to only be attracting the same kind of people? Even in business, seems like your network isn't growing while you're watching others build relationships with people who are connecting them with big funds and connecting them with big opportunities. What if I told you that everything about you was designed to keep it this way? There's something about you that's protecting you. Well, it is true, but it doesn't have to remain this way. And I'm going to show you exactly how to break through it. The short answer, and I'm going to give you the long answer. The short answer is that you have to learn to become comfortable with different. That thing that you are trying to obtain, that new relationship, those different kind of people, those different kind of situations, you have to learn how to become comfortable with everything that comes with that. Now, the long answer is we all have this very protective best friend that is a part of us that protects us from anything that it sees as a threat. And this is called our central nervous system. And what it sees as a threat is anything that is different than what your environment has shown you. Anything that you can't emotionally understand because you didn't grow up around it. It wasn't in the household. It wasn't around your family. The central nervous system was designed for survival. And so what it perceives as a threat is what's different and what you can't emotionally understand. Like, imagine growing up in a household where both of your parents run businesses. They're both business owners. They both generate roughly $250 million a year separately, and they also have investments. That lifestyle is so comfortable for you. When you get around poor people, it might be uncomfortable. There's some things that are going to come up. If you grew up in a poor household, when you get around rich people, there's some things that are going to be uncomfortable, and it can show up in many different ways. It can show up as in embarrassment, boredom, being overwhelmed, defensiveness, anxiety, all of these different things that could come up. And this is why, say if you're someone who's healthy, if you go on a date with somebody who's unhealthy, your central nervous system is going to kick in. If you're someone who's unhealthy and you've only been around toxic relationships, abusive relationships, when you get around somebody else who is that, you're going to be drawn to them. Something about them is going to be attractive. But you might run into somebody who's healthy, and that person could feel bored. They can make you feel bored, or the things that they can say might make you feel offended, or you could get defensive by the things. You could think that they think they're better than you. And that is all the central nervous system working to protect you and keep things the same. So you might be asking, how do I break through this? Number one, I always say you have to figure out what it is that you want. And of course, in this situation, you want to build a relationship, whether that's with somebody who's healthy or somebody who can, somebody who would be a good partner to build with in business, right? So number two, understanding what those central nervous system triggers are. What is these list of things and what does it feel like? And once you go through the list and you see anxiousness, defensiveness, all of these, keep in mind with all of this. And anytime you go to make a decision to grow into the person who can find that kind of relationship, when these feelings start to come up, try to check yourself and explore those different things. So next time, and I'll give you an example, right? So when I was looking to obtain this building and I was putting in the loans, I seen that the bank that I was trying to get the loan for was having an annual event. Everything about me said, I mean, you know, this is for CEOs and other banks and all of that. Like, who do you think you are to go to that, right? Central nervous system kicking in, trying to make me anxious. I paid whatever it was for the ticket. Boom, put my suit on, went up. The whole ride, it was just like me fighting against myself. Like, yo, what is you worried about? Like, even I sat outside for about 10, 15 minutes before I even went in. But once I went in, the connections were great. The conversations were great. These were just regular people who just happened to be living a way better life than me, right? I got a chance to meet the underwriter and got a chance to do all of these things. So I completely fought my central nervous system. But if I wasn't aware that this was going on, I probably would have stopped that just seeing the event. So, know exactly what is out there for you, what kind of relationships you want to build, whether that's a romantic relationship or a business relationship, whatever it is, and understand that your environment has made you comfortable around a certain kind of people who are probably loving, who are probably great, but that's not the group that you could build with business-wise, because we come from nothing. I come from nothing. So the people I love the most might not be able to help me reach that level. So I have to understand what those central nervous system triggers are whenever I attempt to go into the rooms of the people that I need to build with for the business. And fight those triggers, address them head on. Therapy is always good. You know what I mean? And I'm a hypocrite because I've never been to therapy, but I do the hard work. If you don't know how to do the hard work, which we'll talk about more in other videos, a simple way could be to just go to therapy, because somebody else who you sit in front of can see your flaws that you can't see. So, my name is Seth Whitted, author of Breaking Negative Cycles. I come from an environment where I've broken many generational curses, I don't call them curses, generational cycles, environmental cycles, and I challenge you to break them as well. You be the one who changes your family.